Hello YouTube, it's Charlie in Westeros here. So I was going to make a video sharing my thoughts on how the Game of Thrones series, aka A Song of Ice and Fire, is going to end. However, when I started to go through my thoughts, I guess I realized that I just had too much to say about the fate which awaits everyone and everything in the series to put into just one short video. So, as a result, I decided I would make multiple videos sharing my predictions or thoughts on what awaits the main houses in A Song of Ice and Fire. Now, keep in mind that A, I do not know for a fact how the series will end, and I could very well be completely wrong with my predictions. So this is just my attempt at guessing. And B, this video contains massive spoilers for those of you who watch the show, so I would encourage those of you who watch the show to get away from this video right now. This is your last warning. Leave this video. Okay, so, to say the least, how I wish the series would end is very different from how I think it will end. My ideal fairy tale ending is that very few more people would die in the series. Aside from the Boltons and the Freys and a few other characters, my happy ever after ending would be that Daenerys would leave Meereen peacefully. She would return to Westeros, where most of the remaining lords would swear fealty to her. They would depose Tommen nicely and send him to live with Tyrion, who would be given control of Casterly Rock, and everyone together would fight off the White Walkers and live happily ever after under the rule of Queen Daenerys, who would of course marry Jon Snow, who doesn't die after all, and that would be the end of the series. That would be my, I guess, lame and failed fanfiction fairy tale ending to A Song of Ice and Fire, so I think it's a blessing that I'm really not the one writing the series. Still, as we all know, that is pretty much guaranteed not to occur anyway. In many ways, I think the series will end on a much more tragic or at least a somewhat hopeful note, I guess. But before I really get into that part of my prophesized ending, I will talk about who will and who will not survive, house by house. So therefore, I dedicate this video to share my thoughts on the outcomes that awaits House Baratheon, and a tiny portion of this video to the Boltons, in terms of their fates by the end of the series, A Song of Ice and Fire, aka A Game of Thrones. Now, to start with the Boltons, I think they are guaranteed to be donezo. For some reason, I just feel that keeping Roose and Ramsay Bolton alive would just piss everyone off, both viewers and readers of the book. George R. R. Martin himself would be included in that category. I don't think he could even bring himself to let them live. I could see them being killed off by Stannis, or even by another character like Asha Greyjoy, for example, in revenging Theon. But at the end of the day, they will be dead, and probably not in a nice or even a clean way. Now, in terms of House Baratheon, I would really like it if Stannis found a way to redeem himself for his brother's murder, but something tells me both he and Melisandre will perish by the end of the series. Possibly during a confrontation with the White Walkers, or even possibly soon in, like, Book 6, during the, I guess, a final confrontation with the Boltons. Another possibility is that Patchface, Stannis' daughter's, I guess, jester, who seems to be able to prophesize things, will play a significant role in his demise. However, the ending I think that either Stannis or Melisandre will definitely meet is going to come by the hands of Loras Tyrell, who I believe will probably kill them, or at least one of them, out of vengeance for their murder of Renly. I also don't think that Loras is gravely injured or dying by the end of Book 5, but is actually snuck away from Dragonstone in the hopes of eventually confronting Stannis. One of his drives at this point is vengeance, and I don't think he feels like he will get it from obeying the Lannisters. Now, it's possible that only Stannis would die shortly before the end of the story, Plus, I don't feel that Melisandre would likely die sooner than later because of her magic. However, I feel that once the war with the White Walkers comes to an end, and they are defeated, magic will start to recede in the world and disappear altogether. So dragons will disappear for good, the children of the forest as well, and so will all creatures that we might view as mythical or magical. When this starts to happen, I could see Melisandre losing her own magic, and would thereby create an opening for someone to kill her without her, I guess, being able to foresee or prevent her own death. I also feel that Shireen, Stannis' daughter, is possibly going to die, maybe by the wildlings, because I remember that Lady Val, who is Mance Rayder's sister-in-law, she said that Shireen should be killed because of her grayscale in the 5th book. However, I also feel that George R.R. Martin could throw us for a loop here, and he could somehow end the story with her on the throne of the Seven Kingdoms. The reason I could see this happening is if, Daenerys and other Targaryen pretenders or claimants are killed off, and Myrcella and Tommen's illegitimacy are proven. And that would basically just leave her as the main heir to the throne. This would not completely surprise me. However, if she does die, which is still a very strong possibility, I feel like Gendry would have a strong chance of being the king, or at the very least, the Lord of the Stormlands. So, in short, to review what I think will happen to House Baratheon is as follows. By the end of the series, Stannis will be dead, Melisandre will be dead, Tommen and Myrcella will no longer be identified as Baratheons by their illegitimacy. I will address whether or not I think they will die in another video about the Lannisters. Shireen, I give it a 60 to 40% chance of her being killed to survive, with the outcome of her survival giving her a very powerful position in the realm. But again, that would be a bit of a strange loop to give us, which is why I'm leaning towards her being killed. Gendry, I feel, stands a very strong chance of surviving, and would at the very least begin or be legitimized in some way. Plus, he is by the end of the 5th book, he's already knighted, and I think he's guaranteed to at the very least inherit Storm's End and the Stormlands by the end of A Song of Fire and Ice, of Ice and Fire. Sorry. Now, again, these are just my thoughts on what awaits House Baratheon. These are not confirmed events. So don't go crazy on me, claiming I'm lying or whatever. However, if you do disagree with my thoughts or predictions, please feel free to share your own theories or ideas on what awaits House Baratheon by the end of the series. I'd be really, really interested in hearing what you have to say. I haven't really read any other theories about or thoughts on what happens to them, so this is kind of just coming from my own head. So yeah, anyway, that's all for now. I will be back with my review for the Sunday's episode of Game of Thrones, so very soon. And then I have a bit of a surprise video to post, but before I do that, I might post another prediction video for another house of Westeros. So take care for now, guys. Bye.